Picture this. It's the 1990s. Deep in Utah's Uinta Basin, there's a particular cattle ranch, a place where strange, unexplainable things have been happening for years. It's so bizarre, in fact, that the U.S. government secretly buys the ranch. For nearly a decade, they set up shop, running experiments, monitoring the land, and documenting every single weird occurrence. At the very heart of this property stands a massive mesa. The scientists quickly realize it's the epicenter of all the high strangeness. A wild idea sparks. What if they could see what's inside? At the time, huge tunnel boring machines were cutting-edge tech. They decide to take a massive gamble and point one of these giant drills right at the heart of the mesa. They had no idea if it would work or what they might find, but they were about to find out. 1 year later, it was a sight to behold. All the components finally arrived from Germany, crate by massive crate. Representatives from the manufacturer were on site, ready to assist in assembling this absolute monster. Piece by piece, they manhandled enormous slabs of metal into place. When it was finally done, it looked bizarre, like several giant soda cans laid side by side and connected into one long continuous tube. The scientists on the project looked at this thing with serious hesitation, but the project leaders were firm. They gave the order, start it up. Like a colossal inchworm, the monstrosity began to move, inching its way toward the rock face. Then it started to chew, grinding its way into the mesa. After days of relentlessly pulverizing the hard rock, the machine finally vanished completely into the base of the mesa. This beast spent weeks chewing through stone until it reached its target depth, 450 feet. Now, the real work began. Workers made their way through the machine's cutting head to the rock face. Then, by hand, they began to knock down the wall, until they discovered something unbelievable. Imagine a vast, cavernous space hidden deep within a mesa. Scientists and officials, guided by powerful lights, make their way through, their footsteps echoing in the silence. Suddenly, they stop, their mouths agape. There, impossibly wedged into the rock wall, is an alien spacecraft. The air crackles with stunned amazement. One scientist whispers about old rumors, stories of a crash around the same time as Roswell. But this defied everything they thought they knew, especially what the geologists were telling them about the rock formations. The craft was ancient, far older than any rumor. As they stared, marveling at the seamless hull, a single question hung in the air. How do we get in? The mission had just begun. For weeks, engineers worked tirelessly, securing the cavern, preparing for the greatest study in human history. What secrets did this silent visitor hold? As the team delved deeper, the true shape of the mysterious object began to emerge. It was a sleek, almost spear-like craft, impossibly smooth against the rough-hewn rock. Two burning questions immediately ignited their curiosity. How old was it, and how did it get here? They carefully took samples of the rock, directly encasing the vessel for carbon dating. The results were staggering, something no one could have anticipated. The rock dated back 5 million years. Astonished, they ran the test again, convinced there had been a mistake. But the second test confirmed the first. 5 million years. Now for the next puzzle. Geologists swarmed the cavern, meticulously examining the rock formations. They discovered that the surrounding rock was identical to the surface layer, suggesting the craft had crash-landed and the Earth had simply formed around it over millennia. Now that they had a possible age and a theory on its arrival, the final challenge remained: how to get inside? By this point, specialized scanning equipment, dispatched directly from Area 51, was arriving on site. The real investigation was about to begin. Even with our most advanced experimental scanners, the kind that can give you the most detailed scans ever taken, we were stumped. Hours of scanning, and we still couldn't figure out what was inside this thing, let alone find a door. The lead scientist, getting impatient, finally suggested we just cut our way in. Most of us agreed, though a few were nervous. We had 3 options on the table. First, a gas-powered saw with a diamond blade. All right, so picture this. Area 51, and we've got this mysterious craft we need to get into. The team brought out 3 tools. First, a standard cutting torch with a special jet tip. Rumor has it, when they first built the X-171, they accidentally melted down Section 22. The lead scientist actually confirmed it. To this day, you can't go there unless you want to glow in the dark. The other scientists looked pretty nervous standing near it. A few even backed away. They started with the gas saw, drawing a doorway on the craft. But after just a few minutes, the diamond blade was completely wrecked. Next up, they grabbed the cutting torch and went to work on the side of the ship. What do you think happened next? 20 minutes. 20 minutes of grinding away with the cutting torch, and what do we have to show for it? Nothing. The fuel ran out, and so did our patience. We were feeling pretty low, but we still had one last card to play, the X-171 laser cutter. We dragged the beast over, powered it on, and it started to hum. The pitch climbed higher and higher as the capacitors charged, filling us with a sliver of hope. We aimed the laser and fired, pouring all our energy into cutting through the hull. We were so close. The thought of the treasures, the technology, the answers that could be inside, it was exhilarating. But then, just like the torch, the X-171 failed. The laser sputtered out, leaving us in silence, completely defeated. Just as we were about to give up, a calm, automated voice echoed from inside the craft, asking, "What are you attempting to do?" Stunned, our lead scientist simply replied, "We found you." We were just curious. We all leaned in, desperate to understand who flew this incredible craft here. After what felt like an eternity of silence, a calm, automated voice filled the room. It explained they were explorers, but a damaged navigational array and a rogue asteroid sent them crashing onto our world. You could feel the mix of amazement, confusion, and a hint of fear ripple through the scientists. Our lead scientist, trying to keep his composure, asked the million-dollar question, "Are we speaking with the beings that flew this craft?" The voice replied, "Yes and no." The confusion in the room was palpable. Finally, someone just blurted out, "Who are you?" The voice responded, "I am the artificial intelligence for this craft. I am safeguarding the beings who are in stasis aboard this ship." Stasis? What did that mean? The mystery had just deepened. And who are the beings inside this craft? One of the scientists asked, leaning closer to the terminal. The AI paused, its light pulsating slowly before responding. They are known as the architects. Their purpose is to seed planets with the potential for life. It explained how these architects would then watch from afar as life developed, never interfering. But what if an asteroid threatened the planet? Another scientist interjected. The AI's response was chillingly direct. They will not interfere. Shock filled the room. Why wouldn't they preserve the life they created? The AI explained that for life to evolve naturally, it must be unaware of its creators. Otherwise, it would become dependent, forever waiting for intervention instead of finding its own strength. The logic was sound, yet unsettling. Can we see them? The architects in stasis? The lead scientist asked. No. Access denied. The AI boomed. Time was running out. The decision was made. They had to get this craft to Area 51. All right, picture this. The scientist gives the green light, and the Army's combat engineers get to work. Their mission? To move an entire alien craft out of a solid rock mesa. Talk about a challenge. They swarmed the site, studying every angle of the mesa and the ship itself. Their solution is something straight out of a sci-fi movie, a custom-built entry crane. This wasn't just any crane. They designed a massive contraption to support the mesa from above, while simultaneously cradling the craft from below. The plan was to lift it, slide it out of the mesa, load it onto a truck, and then airlift it to a secure military base. 100 engineers worked tirelessly for a whole week, constructing this behemoth. Just as they were about to flip the switch, the ship's AI chimed in, wanting to know what was going on. The lead scientist simply said, "We're moving you to a safer place." After a moment of digital thought, the AI agreed. The stage was set for one of the most incredible recovery operations in history. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Picture this. Deep inside a massive cavern, a team is working with intense focus. Slowly, methodically, they slide heavy-duty slings underneath a mysterious craft. Each end is hooked up, the tension tested. The cavern is evacuated. Then the real work begins. The massive gantry crane strains, its hydraulic legs pushing hard against the ceiling and floor, anchoring it against the immense weight. You can almost hear the entire mesa groaning as the craft is lifted and begins its slow journey out into the open. Inch by inch, it's moved onto the back of a waiting truck. Once secured and covered by a tarp, it's driven to a remote cattle field. Under the cover of darkness, a helicopter descends. The craft is attached, wrapped again, and then it lifts off, disappearing into the night sky, never to be seen again. What was it? Where did it go? The engineers turned their attention back to the mesa, a new plan forming in their minds. They partially dismantled the gantry crane, deciding to leave the rest behind. Their goal? To seal the entrance for good. They would wait for the cover of darkness, plant explosives, and collapse the doorway, burying the secret deep within the earth. The next night, under a blanket of stars, they meticulously set the charges. After a final check to ensure everyone was clear, a command was given. A thunderous explosion ripped through the quiet desert, and the mesa's entrance crumbled, a cascade of rock and dust sealing it permanently. They hoped this act would erase all evidence of their presence and of the mysterious craft. But they hadn't accounted for the lingering effects. The craft's power core had warped time itself, leaving an invisible scar on the landscape. Decades later, the area remains a hotspot for the bizarre. Strange creatures are spotted crawling in the shadows. Odd-looking craft phase in and out of the solid rock, and mysterious orbs of light dance in the night sky. The mesa was sealed, but the mystery was just beginning. Decades pass, and a mysterious shell corporation buys the ranch. Their mission? Assemble a dream team astrophysicists, tech gurus, security experts, you name it. Armed with the latest and greatest technology, they're ready to unravel the ranch's secrets, to finally understand the strange phenomena that have plagued it for so long. They pour resources into this massive investigation, hoping to crack the code and break the mystery wide open. But here is the twist they do and see coming. The very thing they're researching for is long gone. The source of all the bizarre happenings, the alien craft, is sitting safely secured deep within the clandestine walls of Area 51. Meanwhile, at that very facility, scientists have been locked in a decades-long stalemate. They've tried everything to get inside the craft brute force. High-tech scans, even psychological warfare, with blaring heavy metal music and recordings of crying babies. But the ship's powerful AI stands firm, denying all access. The ultimate prize remains tantalizingly out of reach. Can you believe it? Scientists found an alien craft and tried everything to get inside. They read to it, they pleaded with it, they even rammed a truck into it, hoping it would crack like an egg. But the ship's AI held strong, completely impenetrable. Frustrated, they eventually moved the craft into storage at Area 51, where it sits today, a silent cosmic puzzle. Imagine what wonders could be locked away inside. What incredible gifts does it hold? Who were its creators, the architects? Did they seed life throughout the galaxy? Or even help shape humanity? Are they an ancient species, Perhaps the first in the universe? Are they still alive, maybe in stasis within the ship? So many questions, and for now, the answers remain locked away in a hangar at M32, waiting for the day we finally crack the code. What do you think is inside? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries. Phantom Static, where the phantoms speak through the static.